When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing, standing up.
The winner advances to the next round of the losers bracket, while the loser is eliminated from competition. This is going to be a best of 3. The very first game appears to be Chain and Epicenter Map. As we wait for 2 members for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers to lock in. They are locked, and here we go. Game number 1 underway. Best of 3. Winner moves on. Loser goes home. All right, on the green side, we have Argon Elite. And represented on the red side, we have the Wi-Fi button flickers. We are on board with Argo and his Jutland, as it appears that the side of the Wi-Fi button flickers is going to go for a Alpha Bravo strategy, and will most likely roll A and then push down towards C. And on the opposite side, for the side of Argon Elite, they are positioning towards a similar but opposite direction strat, going Charlie Bravo. So their intent is going to be push down, grab C, and then push their way back. Bravo is currently being contested between Dirty Sailor and Schiller, the legendary Schiller. Both teams have each gained Alpha and Charlie respectively. B being the contested cap. It does look like the second DD was able to make it into Bravo before the second DD for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers could get in. Shell's now raining down as Edvin takes some early damage, but the returning shells are onto Raffi and his Kronstrad. Argo's Jutland is smoking. Shells raining down onto Arsonist Z46. As the Kronstrad is forced to retreat. B is now being contested, but one of the DDs has backed out of the cap for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers. Something needs to happen here. They need to contest and start pushing down if the side of Wi-Fi button flickers wants to get anything done. Arsonist takes heavy damage in his Z46 and loses a turret. Raining shells down onto the Missouri for the side of Argon Elite. Missouri loses some modules. Returning fire is onto the Missouri, Edvin, the Wi-Fi button flickers. Shells raining down towards Duzzy's, Iowa. And the Wi-Fi button flickers have picked up Bravo cap and have a 1 cap advantage. Arsonist being the focus here. Launches some shells, but he goes down. Artemis picking that kill up in his Kronstrat. It is now 7-6 in favor of the Wi-Fi button flickers. Focus fire is down onto the Missouri Edvin of Wi-Fi button flicker. Schiller makes it out alive at the moment, but he's most likely going to get picked up here as he is showing broadside trying to turn around this rock. He has a sliver of health. Incoming shells, he is going down. Raffi picks up that kill onto Schiller's Z46. It is now 6-6. The Donskoy, Monster Man, holding on, but he goes down. Artemis picks up his second kill of the game. It is now 6-5. Edvin still trying to bow tank on as he is continuously taking shells. Artemis loses some of his modules as he is slowly backing up. With 2:37 remaining in the game, it is currently 6 ships to 5 in favor of Wi-Fi button flickers, and the score is 313 to 234. Shells raining down onto Artemis. Artemis is in full retreat, while the entire team is now shifting focus over to Donskoy. Donskoy is pushing forward. Kukupa trying to defend the Bravo cap, which is being contested. Argos Jutlin taking shots, sending shots. Artemis barely limps out with his life. Lost Soul throttles it to survive at least one more salvo. Artemis does go down. Raffi picking up that kill. Missouri should be going down shortly, but is currently healing. It is now 5-5. 134 remaining. Very, very close game. Missouri still holding on. Battleship line needs to push up for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers and try and contest the Bravo cap, because that could be what spells the end of the game. Missouri appears to have gotten out for the moment and have dropped aggro. They're picking up on the Iowa, focus down onto the Iowa. Donskoy shooting into the Kronstadt. 50 seconds remaining. Argo loses his rudder. Iowa being focused. Crazy Gary picks up Edvin. It is now 5-4 in favor of Argon Elite. Argon Elite has complete control of this game with 35 seconds remaining. However, Iowa looks like it might be going down here shortly. They will need to try and find another kill, though, if they want to win. 24 seconds remaining. I think Argon Elite has secured game 1, as there is nothing to do unless they can somehow find the Missouri in 10 seconds. 4 seconds. 2. Duzzy goes down. That secures it. Argon Elite picks up game number 1 in this best of 3 series. AG is your MVP for game number 1. Here is the damage demographics for each team. As the teams will now ready up and get ready for game number 2. If the Wi-Fi button flickers want to continue their tournament journey, they will need to win this game and force a game number 3. Otherwise, they are done. All right. It looks like this map will be the epicenter map, chain, as we roll into game number 2. Wi-Fi button flickers have shifted over have elected to use a 3DD comp versus a 3-2-2 comp for the side of Argon Elite. Argon Elite currently leads this game, this series, with 1 win. And we will see if the Wi-Fi button flickers can force a game 3. We are on board with Schiller's Z46 as the DDs should all be racing towards the center to try and contest the highest points per cap. For the side of Wi-Fi button flickers, they have secured the outer ring. Their DDs are now going to shift in to the center or middle ring. They are throttling to try and get some early points. And they now secure the second ring. And they are now going to start contesting the final ring, the epicenter. Expect to see thousands of torpedoes from both sides roaring across these waves. Shell's focusing down onto Dirty Sailor and his Z46. RC goes ahead and smokes up. Dirty Sailor backing in to the shells and is forced to smoke. Dirty Sailor taking very low, has about a third HP left as he is forced to retreat. Wi-Fi button flickers have control of the outer 2 rings and look to be in full control of the inner ring as well. Shell's raining down onto Argo's Jutland. Dirty Sailor peeking around this rock here. He is very, very low. And the center ring is capture is completed by the side of Wi-Fi button flickers. Health bars relatively healthy across the board with the exception of Dirty Sailor's Z46. As we shift over to Arsonist, who is pushing forward. I expect him to be focused down here for the ships that can hit him. Argo's being forced out after that focus fire misses. Monster Man and AG hugged up against this rock here. Edvin and the Iowa for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers sharing damage. Arsonist is still hanging out inside this cap as Argo's Jutland looks to potentially be going down here. He does manage to make it behind the rock. Barely makes it out. Arsonist looks to be going down here. He is on a sliver of health himself. And he does. RC picks up that kill. Schiller now has a sliver of health. It is currently 7-6 in favor of Wi-Fi button flickers. And with 3 minutes remaining in this game, it is 432-60 on the scoreboard. Dirty Sailor still hanging around with a sliver of health. Schiller and Argo, both very low. Shells are raining down onto Duzzy and Artemis, respectfully. As the focus is on to Crazy Gary and his Minnesota. Crazy Gary takes a big shot there. And the return fire is on to Edvin. Crazy Gary looks like he's about to go down, and he does. Duzzy picking up that kill. RC is the focus fire here. The Iowa of AG starting to get a little low as the caps are starting to swap over. Argo being forced to smoke as he's found out that he's in a bad position against this Donskoy. And Monster Man does take him down. It is now 6-5 in favor. 5-5 now because of that kill. 5-5 in favor of Wi-Fi button flickers as they do take down the Iowa on the side of Argon Elite. It is now 5-4. With a minute 20 seconds remaining, the score is 716 to 305. As we ride along board Lost Soul, as he is positioning his Missouri up forward, Artemis does take down Dirty Sailor. And Lost Soul does get some heavy damage down onto the enemy Iowa. They are pushing forward defiantly. The Iowa will be going down. Monster Man picking up the Iowa. It is now 804 to 462. And unless they completely wipe Wi-Fi button flickers, there will be a game 3. Returning salvo here against the Kronstadt of Rafi, which misses. Monster Man gets taken down. Artemis picks up his 3rd kill of the game. And with 10 seconds remaining, prepare yourselves for a game number 3. And the Iowa, for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers, picks up MVP honors for that game. Here is the damage demographics for both teams. Game number 2. And we set up for game number 3. And the winner takes all and advances. Loser goes home and watches. Teams are setting up their lineups and swapping over the map. Looks like Haven is going to be the map. Domination style. It looks like for the side of Argon Elite, they're going to stick with their 3-2-2 composition. And for the side of Wi-Fi button flickers, I suspect they're going to keep their 3-1-3, but we'll see if there's a last second change. If there is, I expect Argo would be the one to swap ships. Nope, looks like they are staying with that 3-1-3. As we get into game number 3 in this best of 3. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Represented in red, Wi-Fi button flickers. Represented in green, Argon Elite. And we will ride on board with Dirty Sailor to start the game out. As he positions himself towards a flanking maneuver towards A. Looks like Argon Elite are going to elect to go Charlie Delta. And on the opposite side, Wi-Fi button flickers are going to pick up Alpha Bravo, sending one DD into Charlie, kind of scout it out. We're on board with RC. See what happens. See if anyone is come under fire yet. Doesn't appear so. And Wi-Fi button flickers are going to pick up a 2-cap advantage, 3-1 early on. And Artemis's Kronstadt is going to be in some trouble here, as he's going to take at least one of these torpedoes. And he does. Not too bad. Shells raining down. Dirty Sailor taking some heavy damage as he's trying to kite away. Schiller taking some heavy damage as they are trading out. Heavy hit right there. Heavy hit. Forced to use the damage control and smoke. Schiller does pick up Dirty Sailor. It is now 7-6 in favor of Wi-Fi button flickers. Argon Elite does retain possession of the Charlie Cap. And Lost Soul has just taken a heavy chunk of damage. He got torped. That's where all that damage came from. Argo's Jutland got in some cheeky torps there onto the Missouri. Focus is now onto the Missouri for the side of Argon Elite. And Argo's Jutland heads back towards his Bravo Cap. Fire raining down onto the Kronstadt. The two ships are firing between each other while one is being forced to the edge and the other one is circling back around towards his team. Fire being sent towards the Missouri once more. As we go on board with Crazy Gary and his Minnesota. Shifting over now. And we are on with Lost Soul. Fire has been put down onto Argo's Jutland, and he puts it out with a damage control kit. Shots being returned towards the Missouri, but end up hitting the rock. Argo sending shells back towards Arsonist, who has sent a salvo of torpedoes. Or a rack of torpedoes. Argo is in quite some trouble here, as he's going to try and smoke, turn broadside. This is where they might catch him here. And they do. AG picks up that kill. It is now 6-6. Schiller might be in some trouble here. He needs to bow on and back out. Arsonist takes heavy damage. Shots were returned fire towards the Kronstadt. And the Kronstadt now takes heavy damage as he is forced to retreat. He burns a damage control kit to get rid of his fire. And on the backside, RC is picking up the Delta Cap. For the side of Argon Elite, they are now lined up single file at this angle. Incoming torps. I don't believe those are going to hit our Arsonist. Focus on to the Missouri. Returning fire towards the Missouri Edvin. It is now 3 caps to 1, with Charlie Cap being swapped over and Bravo Cap being swapped over. So at the end of that, it will still be 3-1 in cap advantage. With 1:42 remaining, it is currently 423 to 309 in favor of Wi-Fi button flickers. Z46 Arsonist still holding on Returning fire onto the Iowa. That Iowa might go down. Returning fire. And that Iowa does go down. 108 remaining. It is a 70-point game. This is very, very close. Anything in the last remaining seconds could determine the game for either side. Artemis being forced to run out so that he doesn't give up any more points. The one thing that is a heavy advantage is having 3-1 cap advantage. 40 seconds remaining. Is a 100-point game. Edvin is most likely going to pick up this kill here onto the Missouri. Artemis picks up Arsonist off screen. Does he takes down Lost Soul, and that will do it. 20 seconds remaining, but this game is now in complete control of the Wi-Fi button flickers, and they will advance. Raffi's Kronstadt trying to roll around the rock here, trying to get eyes on the Z46, but it doesn't matter. And Duzzy picks up the MVP honors for game number 3 as Wi-Fi button flickers advance to the next round, and that spells the end for Argon Elite. They have had a very good tourney, and they have had plenty of good games. Here is the damage charts for this game.